Thank you for joining our FarmFreshWeb.com presentation called Strength in Numbers. My name is Jim Veyer. I'm the president of the company, and I want to explain why you should get your peers, your market managers, everyone, even your competitors, to participate in the FarmFreshWeb program and get their customers to download our app. Let's explain what we're talking about. Maybe you've heard of us. If you've heard of farmfreshweb.com, that's great. If you haven't, we're going to explain it in a little bit of detail as we go along. And if you want to use it, that's even better. But getting your peers, your competitors, getting your market manager on board will make it even better. And here's why. Let's first of all talk about our focus. We focus on messaging, calendar messaging, push notifications, news feeds, offers, text messaging, email, all kinds of ways to get your message to the customer, to get them to shoppers. Okay? There are other things you can do. You can actually take orders with our system, but that's not where our focus is. Here's the general idea. You send the message from what we call the Farmers app. That's a special app just for you and for the market manager and your peers. And then your customer gets the message through what we call the Shoppers app. That's the one that we want you to get your customer to download. What is the Shoppers app? Well, the Shoppers app displays messages for a selected market and its vendor. The messages can have contact links and sharing options. They have special magical powers. They can automatically include an email newsletter that you create or a blog that you write without you having to do any extra work. And they create calendar reminders for market day. In other words, they actually create a message in the customer's or the shopper's calendar on their phone. We have these things called push notifications that display even when the app's not open. We have recipes that help shoppers use seasonal produce, and a shopping list function that encourages market shopping. And then the last thing is not really so much about messaging, it's just letting the customer reserve in advance for market pickup, which is that thing that I said we could do in addition to all the messaging stuff that we talk about. Here's some screenshots to just get you a little familiar with what it looks like. On the left, we ask the customer to pick a market. Then we ask them to pick their farmer or artisan that they want to choose. And then over on the right, from the middle forward, we've got what a push notification looks like, and then what some of the messages look like in the app, including a recipe over on the far right. The point that we're getting at here is that messages can turn visitors into regulars. Now, what you may not realize is that most farmers market shoppers only go to the market 1 or 2 times a year. You may not believe me about that. We have a whole video devoted to explaining why that is true, even though it seems a little counterintuitive. But the point is that adding just 1 visit a year can increase traffic by 25 to 30% at your farmer's market. And occasional visitors, the people who don't go every week, week after week, are your best prospects for getting new business. They know where the market is. They were motivated enough to go at least once, and it is just human nature that behavior that they've exhibited once is more likely to get repeated than stuff you've never done before. So compared to the general population who's never been to the farmer's market, getting somebody who's been there at least once to come again, that's your best shot, right? And messages are powerful. Other programs have shown that messages can increase traffic by 40% or more. So you want to get your shoppers on the app. You want to get them to download that app and install it on their phone, and then you want them to pick you. And that's the point that we're making here. Getting the customer to download the app while they're at the market is the most effective way to get them to do it, right? You can encourage them while they're in your booth. Then when the customers download the app, they're asked to pick a market and a vendor. Well, they're obviously going to pick the market that you're at, and they're more likely to pick you as the vendor because you're right in front of them. And when they pick you, we treat that as your customer, which means you'll be able to send push notifications and other special kinds of messages to those customers for free, right? That's our way of sort of saying thank you for getting the customer to download the app and to encourage you to do that. But even if your competitors and the other vendors at the market get customers to download the app, that's actually still good for you. Now, like I said, we do have special privileges when the customer picks you, but even if they don't, you benefit from those other downloads. Think of it this way. The average farmer's market has about 20 vendors, which means that that's 20 times more downloads than you can get all by yourself. Right? It's the same kind of logic as why the farmer's market exists in the first place. If you could sell everything you could sell at the market at your farm stand, why would you ever bother to have a farm stand? The reason that you go to market is because people are coming for all the different vendors that are there. The reason that we'll have the maximum number of users on this app is because of all the vendors who will get their customers to download the app. And more downloads mean more messages, which ultimately mean more people coming to market. Now, your messages will still appear in the app, even if your competitor got them to download the app, right? They don't appear in the special places that we reserve for people who, quote unquote, own that customer, but they still appear there, which means you're still communicating with that customer. And we're going to create more ways that you can access those customers over time, right? So even if you didn't get the customer to download the app, we're still going to make it effective for you to send messages through the app. So you should get everyone on board. You should tell your market manager, and if you do, we'll provide them with free materials to help promote the app. Things like the signage that we're showing here, or these little promotional cards, online materials like logos and links and banners. We can do press releases. We can help with content for their website. And we have materials for you as well. We've got promotional signage and card designs. Now, we do have to charge for those, but if you bring us 3 vendors or more together as a group, we'll supply those materials for free. Okay? So the message here should be completely obvious. We want to get as many people on board, getting as many customers downloading the app as possible. If you got any questions, please shoot us a line. You can find us on the web at www.farmfreshweb.com. Our customer service manager, Paul Veilleux, is listed there. His email is there. And if you have any suggestions or any other comments, we're always looking for new ideas to make this tool as effective as we can for your marketing and your sales. Thanks so much for your time, and we look forward to working with you.